Ladies and gentlemen, let us begin with a fundamental truth, one that is as inescapable as it is uncomfortable. Life is suffering. This is not a pessimistic declaration, nor is it a call to despair. It is, rather, a recognition of the inherent nature of existence. To live is to struggle, to face obstacles, to endure pain. And yet, it is precisely through this struggle, through this pain, that we find the opportunity for growth, for transformation, for meaning. Consider for a moment the natural world. A seed buried in the dark, cold earth must crack open, must endure the pressure of the soil above it, must push its way through the dirt to reach the light. It is a process that is fraught with difficulty, with resistance, with pain. And yet, without this struggle, the seed would never become a tree. It would never stretch its branches toward the sky, never bear fruit, never provide shelter or sustenance. The pain of its growth is not an accident, it is a necessity. And so it is with us. We are not so different from that seed. We too must endure the darkness, must push through the resistance, must face the pain of our own becoming. To avoid this pain, to shy away from the struggle, is to remain stagnant, to remain trapped in the soil, never reaching our full potential. But to embrace it, to confront it head on, is to unlock the possibility of transformation, of transcendence. Now, let us be clear. Pain is not something to be sought out for its own sake. It is not a virtue in and of itself. There is no nobility in suffering unnecessarily and courting misery for the sake of misery. But pain, when it comes, and it will come, can be a teacher, a guide, a catalyst. It can show us where we are weak, where we are broken, where we need to grow. It can force us to confront the parts of ourselves that we would rather ignore, the parts that are holding us back. Think of the athlete pushing their body to its limits, enduring the burn of their muscles, the ache of their bones. This pain is not an enemy. It is a signal, a sign that they are pushing beyond their current capacity, that they are building strength, endurance, resilience. Without this pain, there would be no progress, no improvement, no mastery. Or consider the artist, the writer, the creator, who faces the agony of the blank page, the empty canvas, the silent studio. The pain of creation is real, and it is often excruciating. It is the pain of self-doubt, of uncertainty, of vulnerability. But it is also the pain of birthing something new, something that did not exist before, something that has the potential to move, to inspire, to transform. And what of the pain of loss, of heartbreak, of failure? These too are necessary, though they are perhaps the hardest to bear. To love is to risk loss. To strive is to risk failure. To live fully is to open oneself to the possibility of pain. But it is also to open oneself to the possibility of joy, of connection, of meaning. The pain of loss teaches us the value of what we have, the preciousness of the moments we share with others. The pain of heartbreak reminds us of the depth of our capacity to love, to care, to connect. The pain of failure shows us where we went wrong, where we need to improve, where we need to try again. And here is the crucial point. It is not the pain itself that leads to growth, but how we respond to it. Do we allow it to crush us, to overwhelm us, to define us? Or do we use it as a catalyst, as a stepping stone, as a means of becoming stronger, wiser, more resilient? This is the choice that lies before each of us every day. Life will not spare us from pain. It will not shield us from suffering. But it will give us the opportunity to rise above it, to transcend it, to use it as a means of growth. Let us take, for example, the story of someone who has faced immense hardship, perhaps the loss of a loved one, the collapse of a career, the shattering of a dream. In the face of such pain, it would be easy to succumb to despair, to bitterness, to resentment. And yet there are those who, in the midst of their suffering, find a way to rise above it. They do not deny their pain. They do not pretend it does not exist, but they refuse to let it define them. Instead, they use it as a catalyst for growth, for transformation. They may find meaning in their suffering by helping others who are going through similar struggles. They may discover strengths they did not know they had, resilience they did not know they possessed. They may emerge from their pain not as victims, but as survivors, as warriors, as beacons of hope for others. This is not to say that the pain is erased, that the scars are gone. They are not, but they become a part of the story, a part of the person. They become a testament to the capacity of the human spirit to endure, to overcome, to transform. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I ask you, what pain are you facing in your own life? What struggles are you enduring? What obstacles are you confronting? And more importantly, how are you responding to them? Are you allowing them to crush you, to overwhelm you, to define you? Or are you using them as a catalyst for growth, for transformation, for meaning? The path of least resistance is always tempting. It is always easier to avoid pain, to shy away from struggle, to remain in the comfort of the familiar. But it is also the path of stagnation, of mediocrity, of unfulfilled potential. The path of growth, of transformation, of meaning is always the harder path. It is the path of resistance, of struggle, of pain. But it is also the path that leads to the highest heights, to the deepest depths, to the most profound sense of fulfillment. It is the path that leads to the realization of your potential, to the actualization of your highest self. So when you find yourself in the midst of pain, when you are confronted with struggle, when you are faced with obstacles, do not despair, do not give up, do not turn away. Instead, lean into it, embrace it, use it as a catalyst for growth. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? How can I use this pain to become stronger, wiser, more resilient? How can I use it to become the person I am meant to be? And remember, you are not alone in this. Every person who has ever achieved anything of value, who's ever made a difference in the world, who has ever lived a life of meaning, has faced pain, has endured struggle, has overcome obstacles. They have not been spared from suffering. They have been transformed by it. And so can you. So when the pain comes in, it will commando, not run from it. Do not hide from it. Do not deny it. Face it, embrace it, use it. Let it be the fire that forges you into something stronger, something wiser, something greater. For it is through pain that we grow. It is through struggle that we transform. It is through suffering that we find meaning. And in the end, it is not the absence of pain that defines a life well lived, but the presence of meaning, of purpose, of growth. So embrace the pain, embrace the struggle, embrace the suffering, and let it be the catalyst for your becoming. For you are capable of more than you know. You are stronger than you think. You are more resilient than you believe. And the pain you endure today will be the foundation of the person you become tomorrow. So rise to the challenge, face the struggle, embrace the pain, and grow.